We have breaking news this hour as Maine's top election official has now disqualified Donald Trump from the ballot in that state, an effort that was underway. CNN's Caitlin Polantz has just read this filing and is following this. Caitlin, what is the Secretary of State saying in this decision here?
Caitlin, the Secretary of State of Maine is saying that Donald Trump is not qualified to be on the ballot in the primary in the state of Maine after reviewing petitions from different people who came to her and wanted to remove Trump from the ballot. I'm still looking through it, but one of the findings here from the Secretary of State is that Trump must meet certain qualifications to be able to be on the ballot, and is finding that he is not meeting those qualifications and thus cannot be on the ballot.
Well, here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. I mentioned in the last video speaking about Donald Trump being removed off the ballot in Colorado, which now he has been reinstated because of an appeal, and the liberal mainstream media aren't too happy. And unless the US Supreme Court agrees with the Colorado Supreme Court, Donald Trump will remain on the ballot. But I said in that video, you will see more and more places try and do the same, right? It was predictable. Even Stevie Wonder could see it. I mean, not too long after the news dropped about Colorado, we got news coming out of California, where apparently the California's Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis had written to the Secretary of State to explore every legal option to remove Trump from California's 2024 ballot. And whilst that has gone quiet, nothing has really developed off that. We have another place throwing its name into the mix. Maine now has barred Donald Trump from its ballot in 2024. Yeah, Donald Trump has been barred from Maine's presidential ballot under insurrection clause. We are witnessing in real time the attempted theft of an election and the disenfranchisement of the American voter, a spokesman for Donald Trump's campaign said following the ruling. Maine's top election official has disqualified Donald Trump from the state ballot in next year's US presidential primary election, making it the second state to bar the former president over the Capitol riots. Maine Secretary of State Bellows ruled that Mr. Trump incited an insurrection when he spread false claims about voter fraud in the 2020 election and urged his supporters to march on the Capitol on January 6, 2021. I do not reach this conclusion lightly, Ms. Bellows wrote in a 34-page decision. Yeah, I bet you don't. Really, I don't. Which follows Colorado's banning of the former president earlier in December. I am mindful that no Secretary of State has ever deprived a presidential candidate of ballot access based on Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, she said. I am also mindful, however, that no presidential candidate has ever before engaged in insurrection. The ruling, which can be appealed to a state court, applies only to the March primary election, but it could affect Mr. Trump's status for the November general election. And just like the Colorado case, you know, this will probably get appealed and then he'll be reinstated. Who knows, as of making this video, he could already be reinstated. You guys let me know, and then the US Supreme Court will have the final say. Obviously, this won't be the last time we see a place do this. Next week, you'll get another one, and who knows, after that, you'll get another one. It's just so predictable at this point. They're trying to do everything they can. And what is really strange to me, you know, these people sit there and they think, okay, let's throw this one at Trump. Let's throw this one at Trump to try and block him from running for president. But every single time they do it, he gets stronger from it, right? He benefits from it. People rally behind him even more. Even the people who dislike Trump are sat there saying, hey, look, you know, every time you do something like this, it is only helping him at this point. For whatever reason, they can't see that. But here is the woman, nonetheless, on your screen who removes Trump off the ballot, the Maine Secretary of State, Bellows, wearing a Democracy Defenders t-shirt. Right, well, that doesn't really add up, does it? Nah. But here she is on MSNBC, very excited about the thought of Donald Trump being removed off the ballot.
It's a very detailed decision. We lay out why under Maine law, the Secretary of State has the authority, indeed the obligation, I'm duty bound to make this determination. I laid out that the record demonstrates that, in fact, the events of January 6, 2021, which were unprecedented and tragic, were an insurrection in the meaning of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. And finally, in reviewing the facts presented, the evidence, the law, the history, we determined under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment that Mr. Trump engaged in insurrection and therefore was disqualified.
Now, I have to say, not only is this an incredibly important decision, but it's a very brave decision. The Trump campaign has already come out attacking you. They have said that you are a virulent leftist and a hyper-partisan Biden-supporting Democrat.
First and foremost, it's important to know my oath to the Constitution, my obligations to the Constitution and rule of law come before any other consideration. No other factors could weigh on that decision and did not. I'm duty bound to both hold a hearing and make a ruling. And under the law, there's a very compressed timeline. In evaluating this, I came to the conclusion that I could not, unfortunately or fortunately, wait for the United States Supreme Court to make a decision. The Maine law required me to issue that decision, which I did today. I smile because we were #1 in voter turnout per capita in 2022. We are really proud of that. And we have a really strong framework of election laws that encourage citizen participation. We have same-day voter registration. We have no excuse absentee voting up to 30 days prior to election day. We make it really easy to register to vote, to cast your ballot, and know your ballot will be counted. And we're really proud of our national leadership in voter participation and citizen engagement in elections and in the democratic process.
Yeah, somebody wants their 15 minutes of fame, right? Am I wrong in saying that? Look, you don't act like this. Maine doesn't act like this. Colorado doesn't act like this unless you really think and you're scared of Donald Trump winning the election. That's the only reason you act in this way. This is the only reason you'll see other states try and do the same. And they keep on using insurrection, yet Donald Trump hasn't been charged of insurrection, yet that's what they're using. It doesn't make any sense, like always. But just like last time, Vivek Ramaswamy came out and called out Colorado's decision. He said he would keep his name off the ballot if Donald Trump's name was off the ballot. And once again, he has now come out and called out Maine's decision on this whole ballot situation. He was interviewed on Fox News, and this is what he had to say.
Vivek Ramaswamy is a 2024 presidential candidate. Here he is. Vivek, the secretaries of states in 2020, secretaries of states, one individual would come in and wipe away the laws of the legislature and say, because of COVID, I'm changing mail-in balloting. One person changing election rules. That was 2020. 2024, one person saying, I am disenfranchising Trump voters. Your thoughts?
Well, look, Kayleigh, I think you phrased it well, but I would say that this is not an action of one person. This is the action of an entire system that has an anaphylactic reaction to one man. And I think they're dropping the breadcrumbs. They're making it clearer by the day. I'm concerned that they will not allow this man to get anywhere near the start line of the election, let alone the finish line. And I say this as somebody who's running in the same race as Donald Trump. This is not how we should want to win. So I stand by the pledge I made earlier on the back of the Colorado decision, and I reiterate it today, that I will voluntarily, as a Republican candidate, remove myself from any GOP primary ballot where one of my competitors, Donald Trump included, is forcibly removed through this unconstitutional maneuver. And I think one thing that the other Republican candidates can do, Kayleigh, is to fight against this, to say that Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie do the same thing, that if Maine is going to do this, we then take Maine out of the GOP primary process. That's the logical way to handle this, and so I made that announcement tonight. I challenge every one of my other competitors in the GOP primary to do the same thing, to say that we will not stand by idly and watch this brazen form of election interference in the GOP primary itself. And I think that that's not a left-wing or a right-wing issue. It shouldn't be. This is about the Constitution and who we are as Americans. And that's why I've taken the position I have.
I mean, this guy sticks to what he says, right? He stands his ground and really goes against the establishment, says it for what it is. As of making this video, again, I don't think any other candidate has come forward and condemned this ruling, which says a lot. You know, no response from Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley. As I said last time, they maybe sat back thinking, hold on, you know, this could really help us. And I do think Democrats know they can get away with this because Republicans won't push back as hard and they won't stand by Trump as hard as I think they should. Because let's be real here, if this was, let's say, Nikki Haley and she was getting removed off of ballots, you know, states were trying to get her off their ballot, she would be coming out and looking for other people to defend her as well. Right, because it's Trump, now we must stay quiet. We must say less than we probably should. Unlike Vivek Ramaswamy, who again has come out and said, look, if a state keeps Trump's name off the ballot, I'm going to do the same. Next year for sure is going to be a very, very interesting time. It's going to get a lot more heated, and these people are going to try and do anything they can to try and make sure Donald Trump doesn't cross that finish line, as Vivek said. But leave your thoughts down below on this one, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on Maine removing Donald Trump off the ballot? I would like to know. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, comment on this video, share this video, and until next time, until tomorrow, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out.